Hello. I will jump to the agenda since Madison already helped us to make the introduction. Thank you, Madison. And firstly, we will talk about the background and the existing feature of the admin console solution, the asset management and the usage metrics. We add two more items for the asset management. And we also add for the new thing in the asset management. The first thing is folder. We add the information of the folder, like in how many folder do we have? In every folder, what object are we hosting in the folder? The user can use this solution to look the hierarchical structure of the folder and get all those information. And we also added the Q metadata, like in Q topic, what data set do we have? And we also added the access information of the Q topic, like who is the owner, who is the viewer of the Q topic. One major thing is we add a Q topic for you to run the natural language question to get the usage information and the asset management from a Q topic. So not only a dashboard, but also a Q topic. And then Jiahuan will dive deep into how can we get the information of folder. And then Ashok will dive deep to talk about how can we get the asset management information of the Q topic. And then Oyin will demo about how to build the queue and the sample question of the Q topic. I will explain how can we use the new release feature, the custom instruction to make the Q topic more powerful. And some other tips and tricks. And we will talk about our next step. And Jiahuan is your stage now. Please take the screen.
Yeah, let me share my screen. All right, let's dive into folders. For this session, we're gonna split this into 3 parts. So first is from QuickSight, Glue, and to At3. So we're gonna take a look at how you can store, get the QuickSight folder metadata, and then store them in At3 using Glue. And then we'll see how you can create Athena tables based on the At3 files. And finally, how you can visualize your folder information in QuickSight. All right, so let's dive into the first part. There are 3 key questions we want to answer when pulling the QuickSight folder data. So the first question is, what is the folder path for each folder? Second one is, which users or group can access each folder and what actions can they perform? And finally, what assets are contained in each folder? So we will get the answers using QuickSight API and stored the results in At3. So let me walk you through the APIs you can use. To get a folder path, you can use describe folder API. So let me show you the API documentation. So you can see there are a lot of different methods, and you can search for describe folder right here. And here you can see the request syntax and response syntax. In the request part, you just have to provide the account ID and folder ID. So let me show you a quick demo on that. In this case, I'll just use the CLI. So you can see here I provided my account ID and the folder ID. And here I get the folder path right here. And I can store this folder path information in At3. So for the second question about which users or groups can access each folder, this one you can use another API called Describe Folder Permissions API. So let me also show you that. Still, I'm providing the account ID and folder ID. And you can see there are two principles. One is this user can access this folder, and these are the actions it can perform. And also the other one is a group can access this folder as well, and these are the actions. And the third one is what kind of members is in each folder, meaning that if you have a dashboard or some data set, you can check it out. So let me also show you the CLI command. Here you can see inside of this folder, there's a dashboard, and you can see the dashboard ARN. And when you run the CloudFormation template, it actually creates a glue job using this API. So let me navigate to the glue job. So this one, folder asset glue. And if you go through this script, you can see the APIs we mentioned previously. In this case, let me just give you an example. For example, the list folder members. And you can see here we called this function and passed the account ID, region, and folder ID. And once this job is run, the result is going to stored in this S3 bucket. So you navigate to the admin console bucket and go to monitoring QuickSight, and you can see there are 3 folder related here. So folder assets, folder link, and folder path. And you can navigate inside and download this and check out the information you saved. All right, so let's move on to how you can create Athena tables based on the S3 files you saved. So in this case, let me show you documentation. So what basically happened in CloudFormation template is it creates tables in Athena using this create external table SQL. And then you can specify your S3 location right here. And you can refer to this Athena doc if you want to manually do that on your end. And once you create a table, let's navigate to Athena. So you can see here under the admin console database, there are a lot of table created. And you can run the SQL query right here. So in this case, let me just run the select all on folder path. And you can see it will give you the results. Right, so let's move on to the last part. See how you can visualize your folder data in QuickSight. So earlier I showed you how you can programmatically get QuickSight metadata using API. So to create QuickSight assets, you can also do that programmatically. And let's check out this folder, this doc again. For example, if you want to create a dataset, you can just use this, check out the request syntax and all the information you can provide here. And in the CloudFormation template we run, we're leveraging these functions. And let me show you this CloudFormation syntax. So right here. So you first specify the type. This is a data set. And then you add all the properties. So let me also show you how this is actually implemented in QuickSight and show you the actual code. So you can navigate to dataset once you run the cloud formation template, you will see all of these data sets populated here. And let's see, we have this admin console for the content dataset. And let's navigate to edit dataset. And see the SQL queries behind it. And let me also show you the actual CloudFormation code. So right here, you can see this is some template information, and under the resources, the first one is a dataset, as I showed you in the doc. And you will provide the dataset ID. For example, in this case, will be the admin console for the content, exactly the one that I showed you in the QuickSight console. And here you have the SQL query. So this will be the same as this custom SQL query right here. And also the column names, type, and all other informations. And you can see the second one, we also added another data set called admin console for the path and all that as well. So I want to show you this so you can clearly see how the actual code lines up with your QuickSight console setup. And let's go back to the analysis. So in the analysis, you will see the admin console analysis. And if you have new data set, you can add it right here. For now, our folder information is displayed under this asset access permissions. But if you want, you can add more different visualizations as well. For example, let me show you this one. So you can customize your own visuals. All right, so that's it for the folder section. And now let me hand it over to my colleague Ashok, who is going to dive deeper into Q topic.
So for this part of the section, I'll be walking you through mainly focusing on the Q topic, the asset and QuickSight, which is an semantic layer information that acts as the layer between the natural language prompts and the AI responses. And this asset also is close to similar to what Juan explained. So most part of the flow will remain same. It's only changing the asset type, whereas the folders we'll be looking into Q topic here. And there are two parts into it. So instead of going through the architecture and similar flow, I'll cover what all components being created through the CloudFormation template and how that information flows all the way till end of the dashboard and how we can leverage Q to ask those questions and understand the usage metrics or pattern on your account for Q specific topic information. So when the CloudFormation is deployed to your account, here are some key assets being created. There are two scripts which acts as an foundational source for generating the key information needed from your account level. The one is admin console queue topic info, and other one is admin console queue object access info. Before getting into the script, let me walk you through the three key APIs that we use for this part of the pipeline. The first one is list topics. This one takes your account ID as a source and it generates every single topic that is available on your account and stores them as a base information. And followed by, it does describe topic where this responses include, let me just go one step down. So if you look into the output of this, it shows ARN, topic ID, topic with information of name, description, and what data set list it is being used. And finally, the second part of the pipeline is about describing the topic permissions, like the user who have access, what level of access, whether it is the user level or at the group level. All that information can be extracted through describe topic permission. So these are the three-step APIs that we will be using. Let me go into the first script for admin console queue topic information. In this one, After setting up like your account ID, S3 output path, account ID, and your access key to your accounts as part of the CloudFormation template, the script is deployed with all that information as an input. And let me go here. The very first step is it generates list topics by accepting different parameters needed for as an input. And it generates the list of topics available in the account, followed by it goes into the next part of the block where it describes the topic and every topic listed on the previous response or iterated through and generates the information needed. And finally, all that is written as a CSV output as a topic into the output path, where the output file includes topic ID, name, dataset, ARN, dataset name, description, and user experience versions. So that will be output from the first step of the script for the Q topic info. Let me go one step back. And the second one is admin console Q object access information. So similar to the prior one, we'll be going through iterating the topics and finding out the access permissions this time. So let me go down here. Here you can see the same list topic. That will be the first step to get the list of topics available. And finally followed by describe topic permissions. Now, once these are created, the output path will go into the folders that are pre-created as part of the CloudFormation template. You can see the Q topic info and the Q object access. And here you will see all the files are loaded through the ETL job. And here is how the output file look like. The first is topic info. Like these are the options or the outputs that we have extracted from the description of each. So object info includes topic ID, the name, the dataset ARN that are associated with each topic, dataset name, description. Description is description of the topic, like what the topic is about, and user experience version. So today we have two different experience versions, like a legacy Q topics and also the new Gen BI Q topic. So that's another key differentiator we have. And followed by, this is the next output where it includes account ID, the region where the topic is deployed, the topic name, topic ID, and permission granted whether at the user level or the group level, who the owner is, and the ARN of the user, namespace. Like if you have a multi-tenant model, it also tells like which tenant that particular asset have ownership on. And finally, the permission set, like whether the user is having reader-only access or the owner level access. These are some key informations that is extracted out of the second ETL script. Okay, so we have completed two steps now. And finally, next is creating these into tabular form through Athena, where these tables acts as a source for the QuickSight. And here, similar to what Joanne explained, we have scripts that are attached in the CloudFormation template, which will take care of creating necessary tables. And here is one of the tables, the Q object access. And let me bring this up. And here is another table for Q topic information, which is pointing from the S3 table that is created part of the CloudFormation template. Let's take a look at the data and preview table. Here you can see that exact information that is available in the CSV file from the S3 source are loaded into the table, which is in the queryable format. So anyone interested doing the direct SQL analysis, they can leverage Athena and perform the same SQL operations to extract the key informations here. And to make it more simplified, that's where we have extended this to Q. In this updated Q admin console dashboard, all this information about the Q topic and the access permissions are loaded in the dashboard format. Like, let me go one step back. Here's the end user experience of the dashboard that is being deployed. Under this, access permissions, all the way bottom, you will see the new section that has been attached for the Q topic access permissions. which are available here, and the data dictionary. Again, you will see one more new field or section included for Q topic information and the datasets attached to it. Okay. So it's not only limited to the dashboard experience. Now it is available in the queue where you can ask those questions. For example, show me number of topic name by ownership. Let's try this. Let's give a quick minute. Okay, sorry, some delay in response. Let me try something else. I'm just using some random question to test how the natural language prompts work based on the dataset that has been attached.
And Ashok, I can speak to this more as well.
Yep.
If that's helpful.
Yeah. Here is just a high level information. So that's about the quick information on how the Q topic or the Q assets from your QuickSight account can be extracted through this pipeline and can be visualized on the dashboard. And more of the Q topic and the natural language prompt experience will be covered by Owen. Thank you.
And in this section, I'm just going to speak about taking the outputs of Ashok and Jarvin's work and actually using that to make the admin console solution more powerful. And we'll specifically be doing that by leveraging Q and QuickSight's capabilities. And the feature that we'll be focusing on is Q&A that's powered by Q and QuickSight that allows you to ask natural language questions about the data that powers dashboards. So now I'm actually showing you the dashboard. So I'm showing you a similar view that Ashok was just showing you. This is the dashboard that takes all of the data sets that we've been speaking about in today's session and also in the part 1 session that gives us an overview of how QuickSight accounts are being used, what users have access to what, which dashboards exist and which data sources they use, and so on and so forth. And also, as Ashok mentioned, we've also incorporated the new dataset from Jarwin and Ashok, which includes the folder level data as well as the Q topic data into this dashboard. But what we want to speak about today is now actually taking that further and actually asking questions about the data in a dashboard. Because sometimes for some users, they might enter this dashboard and perhaps they're not sure what data exists that powers it, or perhaps they're not sure if the existing visuals used in a dashboard are sufficient to be able to actually answer the questions that they need. So with the Q&A functionality, I can actually ask natural language questions about the data in a dashboard. So as Ashok was showing just earlier, you have the ability to actually ask, for example, what are the groups that a specific user belongs to. So if your QuickSight account has multiple different groups with different access and permission settings, you're actually able to just ask in natural language what a specific user, what group they're in, as an example. Or we can extend upon that and we can actually ask questions about some of the data that was added by Jawan, which is the folder related data. So we can ask how many unique folders exist. And we can see the response here, and we can see that not only does it tell us how many unique folders exist, but it also gives us a breakdown of the folder ID, the folder name, and so on and so forth. And then again, just another example with the Q topic data that was added by Ashok. We can say which Q topic used the most unique count of data sets. And I can explain what this question means just after I show you the response. So now this is showing me that actually we have a number of different Q topics as the names are shown here. And these different topics use, for example, the first topic uses 5 data sets. Then we have another topic that uses 4, followed by 1, etc. And I'm going to explain what that means now. So I've shown you kind of the end use case of what it looks like to actually incorporate this Gen BI capability into the QuickSight dashboard, and specifically for this admin console solution. So we've made the admin console solution more powerful when it comes to self-service abilities, because now we can actually just ask questions about the data in here rather than having to kind of navigate from tab to tab. And now I've just changed screens because I actually want to show you how we've configured that Q&A experience. So we've chosen to configure the Q&A experience by using something called a topic within Q&A. So a topic essentially is a layer between the data that powers a dashboard or powers a topic and the actual Q&A experience that I was just showing you on the other screen. And in this layer, you have the ability to provide additional context that allows your Q&A experience to be more accurate and to be able to respond as effectively as possible. So what does that actually mean? So firstly, in your Q topic, you can define which data sets should be used. So for this admin console solution, we've spoken about a number of different data sets, including the folders from Jawan, the topics from Ashok, and also data set, data source, user level information that Ying has built and spoken about in part 1 of today's session. So this Q topic uses multiple different data sets, as you can see. And on top of that, we actually have the ability to say, for these different data sets, we can go through one by one, and we can look at all of them, and we can say which of the columns from the data sets we'd like to include in the Q&A responses, because we don't have to use everything. And then additionally, I spoke about using this topic to make the Q&A experience a lot more intelligent and more accurate. And some examples of that, for example, in organizations, if an AWS account ID in your organization, maybe you refer to it as, in the data set, it's called account ID, but maybe in your organization, you refer to it as an AWS account ID. Or maybe we're speaking about folder IDs, and actually in your organization, everybody knows of it as a directory. You can actually add these synonyms into the attributes in your data set, and that means that the Q&A is going to be able to interpret that when you use a specific synonym, it's going to correctly correspond it to the right attribute in your data, and thus it's going to give you a more accurate answer when it comes to answering your question. So there's a lot of controls that you can do within the topic to be able to make Q&A smarter. So I've spoken about adding multiple data sets. I've also spoken about the ability to include or exclude columns when we ask questions. And I've also spoken about synonyms. And there are many other capabilities that you can do to make the experience a lot smarter. Something else that I would like to speak about as well, just before I hand it over to Ying, is the fact that not only do you have the ability to actually update this layer that provides the information about how to answer questions, but you also have the ability to firstly have the user activity, and you're able to see what questions are asked most frequently. You're able to see how successful the Q&A has been in terms of responding to questions. And this is also going to help you tailor the experience. If you find that questions are being asked very frequently by certain users, then maybe it makes sense for you to actually update the dashboard visuals and perhaps include a summary so that your users can have access to that data that they ask questions about very often. Or maybe it makes sense for you to review this and understand, are synonyms being used commonly in your organization that you're not currently accounting for in your data layer here when you actually add the synonyms. So that user activity sheet is very, very powerful when it comes to actually understanding the effectiveness of the Q&A experience and tailoring it accordingly. And then finally, we have something called suggested questions. So when I first clicked on the Q&A experience in the dashboard, you can see that there are a list of questions that I was prompted to select from initially. So these are actually the suggested questions tab that we can see in the admin layer and the topic that I'm now showing on my screen. So in the suggested questions, you have two choices. You can either use the ones that are AI generated based on the data that you provide to be used for the Q topic, or you can use the verified functionality, which means you can actually ask a question, view the response to make sure that it makes sense. And if you like it, then you can actually mark it as verified. And doing that means that it's actually going to appear as a prompted question when your Q&A experience is loaded by your end users. So just wanted to speak about how Q&A can make this admin console solution a lot more powerful, how it can help you kind of scale in your organizations to make sure that your users are able to get answers to their questions, even if you don't include a visual in the dashboard per se. And also how you can actually have control from an admin perspective to be able to make this experience as positive as possible for your end users. And then again, all of this that we are viewing here, this Q topic, this is something that actually you have visibility into from an admin perspective that you can actually incorporate into this admin console solution. And that was what Ashok was demoing slightly earlier. So Ying, I'm going to hand it over to you now to just kind of extend upon this.
Thank you. So here is a new feature called custom instruction of the Q topic. In the data part, you already be able to define the metadata, the semantic layer of a Q topic. Like for example, the synonym and the field synonym, and also the name entity and so on and so on. Custom instruction provide one more layer to help you to provide the guidance to answer some specific question which cannot be directly extracted from the data. For example, I give the instruction, say, hey, if I ask a question about datasets, please not only give me the dataset ID, which is UUID, not understandable, also give me the dataset name. And if I have to run count, then run count or count distinct on ID, but display the dataset name for the group by. And Q can respect my instruction. And also, I give instructions, say, if I ask a question about who has the GenBI access, I refer to the user role with the admin pro, author pro, and reader pro. And I also specifically give one feature name called scenario. If I ask who can run scenario or similar question, I refer to the user with those roles. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, for example, I can ask the question, say, who have access to scenario is a new feature, GenBI new feature. Then Q interrupt this question to be the users with this role, admin pro or author pro or reader pro. And similarly, if I ask a question, say, hey, who can access the GenBI feature? And it will also help me to explain the question to be go to check those user roles. And I can ask questions, say, which dataset use across multiple dashboard, and it will give me the dashboard ID as the count distinct, but display the dataset name as the group by field. Let me make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. You see, for the same name, I can have multiple dataset ID, no problem, count it on it, but display the dataset name to make me better immediately understand which dataset I'm talking about. Here is the tips and tricks for the advanced technical of Q. And now I will explain a little bit more of the glue job and the Athena query. So in glue job, in here, if you scroll down in the advanced property, you can see in the in Jiahuan's demo, Jiahao already talked about, like we save our glue job in a public accessible S3 bucket for you to download by using the CloudFormation template. Not download, to refer to this glue job, but spin up the glue job in your environment to get the information. However, I only give you the reader permission of the S3 bucket, so you cannot modify the glue job. What you can do is convert this one to the HTTP, the URL format, download the glue job, and then upload it to your S3 bucket. And then you can feel free to do any modification. And the second thing is, if you would like to get the information from other region, you can see here in the glue job, I have a key, say AWS region, and hard code it to be US East 1. You can modify it to other region, whatever you would like to do. You can also do this. In here, actually, I give some global variants to get the region information from this one, the argument I show in the glue job parameter. If you don't like this solution, again, upload the glue job, the Python code into your local S3 bucket, remove this line, and you can give an array, and in the array, give the list of the region list you would like to query against it, and then do a loop, and then you can get your access information and the access permission information by running the API across different regions. That's the tips and tricks of glue job. And for the Athena query here, I know you have a lot of questions about, can we get the all region of the CloudTrail? Yes. In the new update blog, I will give you options so you can get all regions. The only thing you can do, I modify here for you to get that is, I just add one more projection for the region. And if you would like to further modify it, just update the DDL of the Athena table. Then you can add more region into the list. Okay, just be careful. If you do that, then your CloudTrail table will be much larger because you have all region activity here. I did the partition of the region. So yeah, so with the new CloudFormation template, you are able to get all the regions information, address one of your big concerns. And furthermore, I do something else to provide more interesting information for you to further work on. I create a view based on the CloudTrail log to record the QuickSight CRUD events. All the create, update, delete event is in this view. So you can create visualization to visualize those events. We will provide some sample visualization in the dashboard, and you can further to work on it. And the second thing is here, I create another view in the Athena by using the CloudTrail logs, is get the query database event of QuickSight. So all the query database events is recording in this view. And you can get the data source ID, the resource ID, which is the dashboard analysis, and the data run this query, and the dataset ID and the dataset mode. And the query ID is very useful. By using the query ID, actually you can join this view with the Redshift query statistics view, and then get your Redshift query log or Athena query log or whatever. You can further do the database query monitoring by using this view. Okay, We will also provide some sample in the new blog just for your information. And again, before the blog to be published, it will take maybe 1.5 months or 2 months. The same as our previous session, we will share the notebook, and you can follow the notebook and launch the new CloudFormation stack. Still 3 CloudFormation stack, one for GlueJob, one for Asina, one for QuickSight objects. Then you can deploy the solution with the folder information, with the Q topic information, and also with some new Asina view I created for those events. For the Q topic, in theory, we should be able to provide you the metadata of the Q topic for you to call the create Q topic API to build it. But however, we encounter some issue when we try to deliver this information. I will talk to the engineering team and resolve the bugs, and then I will update the notebook by providing you the metadata of the Q topic so that you don't have to rebuild by yourself. Next step, we will provide more admin console, information. When we talk about the administrative monitoring and usage analysis, it should include usage metric and the assets management and also the performance monitoring. In the current solution, we already have the usage metric and assets management, but we didn't provide the performance monitoring. We will provide it by using the CloudWatch metrics, and we will also provide you some suggestion advisory by using Gen AI feature to help you not only monitor and view the bug, but what's the step to resolve the bug. So stay tuned. We will collaborate with Madison once the new material ready to share with the QuickSight community. Thank you.